I'd like to introduce our first presenter, Professor David Gerdes. Professor Gerdes is the Arthur F. Thurnau Professor of Physics and Astronomy and Chair of the Department of Physics, the discoverer of new dwarf planets in the outer solar system, and my friend and colleague since the 5th grade. Please join me in welcoming Professor Gerdes.
Thank you, Tim. With my department chair hat on, before I present the first award, I want to add my congratulations to Tim's of the accomplishments of our undergraduates. We will miss you. We are proud of you. We wish you all the best on your next steps in your journeys. I also want to thank the parents. As a parent of a Michigan graduate myself, I know what you have put into raising such wonderful young men and women, the sacrifices you've made, and the support that you've given them all along the way. And I'm so grateful that you have trusted us with them, and we hope that we've lived up to the trust that you've placed in us. So now I'm going to put on an even more fun hat to wear, which is that of the research advisor of our first award recipient. The Wirt and Mary Cornwall Prize is being presented today to a most deserving student, Tali Kine. As you make your way up here, let me tell people a little bit about you. So the Cornwall Prize for Physics is distributed to a graduating student who, during their time within our program, has demonstrated the greatest intellectual curiosity and has shown promise of original study and creative work. And Tali is the 2019 winner of this award. Tali started working with me the summer after she graduated from high school, from Skyline High School right here in Ann Arbor. I normally wouldn't take a student who has just finished high school. There's a lot you need to do to start doing research in physics, but I got a couple of letters from her high school teachers that said, "She's the best student I've had in 25 years, you've got to take her." And I said, okay, and it turns out to have been one of the very best decisions I've made in my 25 years as a faculty member. Early on, Tali started working on a project to understand the dynamics of new distant objects we were finding in our own solar system. And she presented some of her early work at some point during the first few months, and to a meeting of some of our collaborators. And one of our collaborators from the University of Pennsylvania said to me, "Wow, your new graduate student is really impressive." I said, "Yeah, she's a first-year undergrad. Just wait." So many undergraduates in our department make contributions to cutting-edge research. It's one of the great things that our department offers to all of our students. But how many undergraduates or people at all can say that they helped discover a new dwarf planet in our solar system that's about the size of the Great Lakes region? That's what Tali did. Using data from a 4-meter telescope down in Chile, my group spotted an object moving very slowly from night to night against the background of the fixed stars and galaxies, and we were able to connect those dots over about 2 years' worth of observations and determine that this was a new object. It was orbiting the sun once every 1,100 years, and at the time it was the second most distant object in the solar system that anybody knew about. We called it DD for distant dwarf. And although we had only observed it for a small fraction of one of its 1,100-year orbits, Tali was able to demonstrate that DD's orbit is stable over the 4.5 billion year age of the solar system, which means that it's an archaeological remnant from the solar system's formation. Our discovery got a lot of media attention. NPR did a story on it. There were articles in the Washington Post, and Tali wrote the section in our paper, our journal article in Astrophysics Journal Letters, about DD's orbital dynamics, giving this demonstration that it has a stable orbit. She was a sophomore, and she was just getting started. Over the coming next few years, I would say that without hyperbole, without exaggerating in any way, Tali has become one of the dozen or so world experts on the dynamical effects, on the dynamical analysis of objects in the outer solar system, and in particular on the impact of the so-called Planet 9, which is a hypothesis. Now, many of the parents are old enough to remember when Planet 9 was called Pluto. But now there's a newly proposed, roughly 5 Earth mass hypothetical planet that may lurk in our solar system 20 times Neptune's distance from the sun. Tali has made substantive, original contributions to 10 refereed publications to date, including 2 as first author, one of those with a couple of people from Caltech, not even from any of us at Michigan. She has 2 more first author papers in preparation. One of them is going into collaboration-wide review, hopefully today. Her most recent work introduces a new technique for the dynamical classification of orbits of trans-Neptunian minor planets, and she has applied this technique to almost 250 objects observed by our survey. If Tali were a graduate student, this body of work would make her a strong candidate for prized postdoctoral fellowships. She's recently summarized her work in a spectacular 200-page senior undergraduate thesis, which is as good as, if not better than, any of the 9 PhD theses I've supervised in my time as a faculty member. So we unfortunately can't give you the PhD right away. You've got to get a bachelor's degree first. You'll hear more about that work in a few minutes when Fred Adams presents Tali with the Williams Award. Congratulations, Tali, on this important recognition. We wish you all the best as you move on to graduate study at the University of Chicago. Our group will never be the same. It is indeed a melancholy day for me to see you move on, but I am so grateful to have had this chance to supervise you as you move on to even better things. Congratulations, Tali. And next, I'd like to invite my colleague, Junji Zhu, to the stage, who will present the Ralph Bodine Scholarship.